Hey traders, it's 7 minutes past 2 p.m. here in Brisbane on Wednesday, the 17th of January, and I am looking to pick up a fight with the pound crosses. But before we take a look on the crosses that I'm interested in, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, what am I looking for, I want to mention that today we're going to get UK CPI numbers. Now, these are big economic news and they do tend to move the market, and we do tend to see spikes around those time of the news. So important to keep an eye for these upcoming news event. So I want to start with the pound versus the US, and this is the daily chart. And the level that I'm looking at is around the blue line, around the 126.15 area. So why am I interested in this level? So first of all, on the way up, we had rejection, 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 broke above it, came back to test it from above and continued higher. So this was a strong level on the way up. Then after this higher high, we came back, tested that area from above and pushed to a higher high. Came back down again, tested that level once again. Let's see how many buyers have stayed at that level, and we can see they were able to push the price once again to a high, but not as high as the previous one. And we came quite close and quite fast into this level. And now we're sitting really on top of that level. But what we also have here is wasted momentum. The other element here, and I just want to zoom into it, is this 125 level. We can see that we had rejection, rejection. We went slightly lower before we burst into this higher high. So this was a strong level for the buyers, and I do expect for it to be retested again. So I do expect to see some more buyers, or at least a bit of a fight between the buyers and the sellers at this level. So if I'll be looking for a break from here, this area is just too close. So I'm looking for that compressions of price. I'm looking for those signs that the sellers are ready to take over and there are no more buyers left at that level. If, however, the market will break through that area from here, so I won't get that compressions of price, I'll be looking for a bit of a pullback over here. But I'll be looking for a pullback a bit higher. I'll be looking for this level around the 126.70. There's a lot of rejection, 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 rejection that was cleared by this strong bearish candle. So if I get a break below that area, that means that we took over all the buyers that were here, and I'll be looking for a bit of reaction from whoever sits here. If it pushed the price just slightly lower, it might not be enough. We might see a little bit of a push again and then a comeback higher. So because when we look at a higher time frame, we can see that it's not really supporting this direction. I want to make sure that when I'm entering into this fight, then the other side, the opponent, has exhausted everything that it had, and I do have a clear and easy push toward the rope and toward my area of the knockout. So in this case, and actually even in the other crosses as well, I'm only looking for one push, one move, and just for the knockout, and that is this 125 area, so a bit above this strong level. Let's have a quick look at the monthly just to see the area, just to see the higher time frame, and we can see that we are still in an uptrend, and only when we break the low of this level, so only if and when we break the 125, we can say that we printed a lower high here. Until then, this time frame, the higher time frame, is not helping us very much. So to summarize on pound versus the US, I am looking for compressions of price above this blue level and looking for a break. However, if the market will break through that level without that compressions of price, then I'll be looking for my offense line to be this gray line. I'm looking for a deeper pullback in this case, and then I'll be looking for a rollover and a push toward the area around the 1.25, which will be my knockout area. Next is pound versus the Canadian. So let's have a look on this one. It's a similar story from the higher time frame. It doesn't really help us very much. We can see there's not a lot of movement, there's not a lot of clarity. We do have lower high here on the wicks, but also higher lows here as well. So once again, I am looking for a smaller, shorter move. This is the daily chart over here, and the level that I'm looking at is the purple line, and that sits also around a big round number of 1.70. You can see rejection, rejection, and rejections as well. Also, with this push that we have, and we are in an uptrend, we couldn't take this previous high so far. So I'm looking for that rollover, and I'm looking for a push and a move toward the breakout level, which sits around the 1.6930 area. Again, I want to see compressions of price, and I want to see the market pushing on this level before I'm looking for a break. If, however, the market will break from here without any compressions of price, this is a similar scenario. I'll be looking for a pullback, and I'll be looking for a deeper pullback, and one of the areas is going to be around these highs, around these spikes, and the low of this rejection candle. So again, if this area will clear these spikes, I'll be quite happy to look for a lower high around this area, and then a push toward my knockout level, which sits around the top of this breakout level. So it's a little bit confusing because over here we had the strength from the buyers. This is their breakout level, and I'm looking for this area to turn into the seller breakout level. So this is pound versus the Canadian. Either the offense line around the 170 if I'll get compressions of price, but if I want and I'm gonna get this push below this spike, I'll be looking for a pullback around the 170.50 area and another rollover, so a new offense line and a push toward the knockout around the 169.50. So the next one that still look at pound weakness is Euro GBP. So again, a little bit scratchy as well. Higher time frame are not helping us that much, and that is why again I'm looking for high confirmation for that move. So this is the monthly chart, and we can see it's pretty scratchy. From here we made a lower low, but then we pushed higher and then made a higher low, so no clear direction on the monthly here as well. Now looking at the daily, I'm looking at this level, I'm looking at the area around the 0.8620. We can see we had a touch and a fall, another touch, and we went slightly lower, came back up, touched it again, couldn't push lower, and now we come in around that level again. So I'm looking for a break. Same scenario, same idea, compressions of price and a break. In this case, this might need to be on the very lower time frame because the distance here is not as big. I like the turn. I like the fact that if we'll take a look here, we stopped and made a higher low, but the area that I'm watching for are these spikes around here, the low here and the low here. So this one is still on my watch list, but it might need to be on a very lower time frame. So the knockout level is going to be just shy of this low, and that is around the 86.45 area. The last one, and that is if the pound is going to get stronger, is pound versus the Kiwi. So let's take a look, and I want to start here actually with the higher time frame. So with the higher time frame, in this case, we can see that we came all the way down to test the 2.0, so the area of double parity here, and we rejected it quite strongly. Now we still have this high, low, lower high, and a lower low, but this is a very strong push to the next level of support and resistance. Taking a look here on the weekly, and we can see the weekly is still in a downtrend, but we start to see the reaction to that level. So this was the breakout level by the sellers. We broke down and we tested it from below and continued to a lower low, and with one big push, the buyers came back into that level. So that shows a lot of strength by the buyers, a lot of buyers that were sitting here around the double parity. Now, if we'll take a look here on the daily, we can also see that we've got that wasted momentum. So this big push that we had, it's a lot of buying momentum, and we moved from a lower low all the way up into that level. So once again, I want to see that compressions of price. I want to see the market pulling back, releasing some of this very strong buying pressure, and then give another touch at that area. A great way to do that, if and when, will be another higher low on the weekly chart. Because if I'm going to get that higher low and then the market is going to go ahead and break this level, that's also going to bring the weekly chart into an uptrend. So coming back into the daily, it could be that we'll see a break due to the news, for example, but this is a big move that we already pushed through. I want to see a pullback maybe into the 2.05 area into this week, and then another attack at this level. In this case, I'm looking at it from a higher time frame point of view with point swing and a knockout. So the point swing is going to be underneath all these rejection candles right here, underneath all these spikes, and the knockout just shy of this high that we had here. So there's a couple of touches at this level, just shy of that high, so around the 2.0940 area. So a couple of levels that I am keeping a very close eye on the pound crosses. 3 in case the pound is going to get weaker, and 1 if we're going to see a surge of the pound. Happy knockouts, everyone. Bye for now.